Now we are live. Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live call-in show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3, dadgummit. Today is Sunday, September 22nd, 2024. We are 24 hours removed from a embarrassing 10-point loss to the Arkansas Razorbacks. I'm sure all of our listeners and watchers have opinions one way or the other about this game. I can't imagine an opinion being on the other side of the fence, but we're going to get to as many opinions, questions, comments as possible tonight. 334. Yeah, give us a call. Give me a call. Personal cell phone number. What is it? 701-779-9585. Go ahead and get on the line. We're going to get to as many as possible. Here to do it with me, as always, Mr. Cole Pinkston, Mr. Allen Head. How about you, fellas?
How about you?
How about you, big dog? How you doing tonight? I mean, look at that fresh gear on you.
Look at
the
double collar popped up. Man.
Jeffy looks like he walked just right out the Sigma new house.
I was about to say, he looks like I saw some youngins dressed like that this weekend.
I got to shed this, man. It's hot as hell in here. But it's our new sponsor, man. It's Roback, big dog. We don't have a video. I am the JPEG, okay?
I like it.
I am the JPEG. I am the Roback model. Okay. If y'all haven't figured out what Roback is, I just discovered it's fantastic. Yeah, there's only one way to describe Roback: best fit, best feel. For those who aren't familiar with it, they are completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable activewear. Roback just released their new licensed game day collection, and it's awesome, freaking awesome, with novel polo designs and clean hoodie and Q-zip, quarter zip designs for some of your favorite schools. The Auburn gear just came out. Definitely go check it out. Nobody else on the market is pairing these level of custom designs with this quality of activewear. Roback, and they got shorts too. Perfect pairing to wear with your shirts. They're comfortable, have on an elastic waistband and great fabric that is made to have the appearance of a nice short, but the comfort of an athletic short. Roback can also has been proudly leading the NIL charge, having signed partners with college stars like Quinn Ewers, Caleb Downs, and another guy that I will not mention. Among others, they're becoming the go-to brand for college. Hey, and listen, we got a promo code for Auburn fans. Go to use the promo code Auburn20 AUBURN20 on Roback.com for a generous 20% off all your new customers through the end of this week. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. That's 20% off all performance shorts with the code Auburn20. I wanted to show you. So this is the quarter zip, right? Say his name. Oh, I'm not saying Jalen Milroe.
Not on this.
He's not going to say it. He's not going to say it.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'll just tell y'all. But this is the quarter zip, and it's, you know what? It's much more comfortable than the Lulu lemon pepper chicken.
Okay.
Day. Two of them on at one time. It's stretchy. You know what I'm saying?
Stretchy. I want you to wait for this reveal, Alan.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
With my new Auburn Live hat, I'm going to get the lettering down a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, no, I like that for sure.
Hold on. Oh, my God, dude, that was a workout. Check it out. You see it?
Yeah.
It's little Aubies.
Yeah.
Look at you.
It's little Aubies.
Look at you, big dog.
Andy Ackerman says, I got that polo.
Hey, I hear you, Andy.
It's a good one. I saw somebody wearing one with little Jordan Hare stadiums. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Right. Hey.
That's a cool.
Them ad reads get me out of breath. You know what?
Sealing in like 10 layers of sweat with that overshirt on that you have.
Okay. I thought, Zach, you got some callers on the line, I'm guessing, if you're coming to the front. Okay. What I want to do here is first, I want Cole and Alan and hell, even you, Zach, 2 minutes. Give me your general thoughts on what you saw yesterday and what do you expect moving forward? Alan, knock us out, big dog.
5 turnovers. Can't have it, right? I mean, that's it. At the end of the day, you turn the ball over 5 times to an opponent you should have beat. And it cost you the game.
Sure.
if you're looking for a positive, I thought the defense took a step forward. I thought the DBs played the ball better in the air than they have. Kayan Lee with a big interception, even though it was slightly underthrown. I thought he got his head around, flipped his hips, made a really great play. So from that standpoint, and Cole mentioned it on our show earlier today, run gap integrity was back. I felt like they handled that relatively well. But the quarterback position and or whatever we're doing conceptually on offense is just not working. And so until we get more productivity from that position and they're not so reckless with the ball. And again, Damari Alston had an opportunity to put one in the end zone and or get right down on the goal line and fumbled it. So the turnovers are the biggest story of the day for me. If you don't have 5 turnovers, and maybe if you even cut that in half at 2, I think Auburn walks away with a W. Instead, it's a loss, and it is another lost opportunity for Auburn, for this coaching staff, and for this team to work more closer to what we predicted, 7-8 victories, and what Vegas kind of thought as their win prediction total. And now you're looking more around in that 5-6 range. I don't want to play the schedule game too much because I think there's some teams that they're still, we're still figuring out who's who. There's only 4 data points on the entire season at this point. I think till you get around about game 6, you don't really know who's capable of what at this point, but it's a lost opportunity, that's for sure. And I'll concede my time to Zach or Cole.
Go ahead,
Zach.
Oh, okay.
You are so gentlemanly.
I mean, for me, it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, you aren't beating anybody, especially in the SEC, with 5 turnovers, whether you're at home, on the road, neutral site, and especially with all the other problems that Auburn has. At the end of the day, like I do think the defensive line played well, but I just don't think we're as talented at some positions as we maybe thought in the preseason. I think we kind of came back down to earth because there were a lot of people on the board and even on this show that we thought that one unit might rank top 5 in the SEC. We could be pushing middle of the pack SEC. I think we're starting to see that some of our talent at some positions are bottom half of the SEC right now. And execution too, because everyone's saying run the football, but you can't trust the running backs to hold on to the football. So how are you going to run the football if you can't trust them to hang on to the ball, and you can't trust a lot of your wide receivers to catch the ball when it hits their hands, and you can't trust the quarterbacks to make the reads and run the offense that you installed? They got a lot of problems right now. And the problem is you look ahead in the schedule and like Alan said, like Alan said, I almost said Jay. But,
You're good. You're good.
you don't want to look ahead on the schedule, but when you look at some of the brands and teams that are coming up, there's not a lot of room for error there. And you better grow up real quick, or a lot of these young guys are going to find out exactly what the SEC is like real quick.
Yeah, you mentioned the margin for error. It's still very thin. It never changed over the offseason. It's how it was a year ago, and maybe even more so in some ways now because you had to replenish your roster with a bunch of young guys that you're relying on at key positions: receiver, safety, corner, and not just young guys, but some guys that are trying it for the first time. Keontae Scott's never played corner. You got things going on like that. So those are things you couldn't quite account for, how they were going to play. Now you're starting to see the youth show up in plays like Cam Coleman's drop over the middle. It turns into an interception because that's how razor thin the margin of error is. If you drop one, it's picked. But no, actually going back and looking, man, Hank Brown played actually pretty well in the first half. I'm looking at it like, hey, he did some really good things. The stats aren't quite reflective, but obviously you can't have those turnovers. That washes the whole thing. I thought, I'll reiterate this, I thought they went to Peyton maybe just a little too quick. I wanted one more drive from Hank to see how he turns it around after halftime. But, you're in a tight situation. You got to make calculated risks, right, Alan?
Absolutely, you do. And to your credit, Cole, on that, you're not alone in thinking that. I remember the ESPN commentator, Roddy, and I can't remember what Roddy's last name is. But anyway, he was giving Hank a B- right until that second pick. And then he dropped him to a C. And then after the third pick, it was, it was all she wrote at that point, because I do believe Hank, the speed of the game was just too much for him. And
that's right.
He was kind of careless. And at that point, I think Hugh realized that, hey, this game's going to get away from us relatively quickly if I trot him back out in the second half and he provides another turnover. Now, that happened all the same with Peyton, though I don't think that pick was on him. I put that pick on Cam. But You were probably trying to do damage control at that point and bringing in the quarterback that have more information on, more about, and that you probably had a little bit more trust in that situation.
Cole, any closing remarks since Allen's conceded his time and then stole it back?
Ooh.
No, I passed it to him. That's fair. No, I actually, because this is a recruiting first show, I am just blown away at it was actually a good week of recruiting for Auburn. And they ended it pretty good with the official visit with Nelson McGuire, who is a priority offensive line target. Guys, the things I've heard coming out this weekend, still good on recruiting. Like after Cal, it was not so good. After this one, different.
I wonder why.
I don't know, but I feel like we're not going to get any questions about that. But
well, I'm gonna give you two positives.
Okay.
Everybody's talking about the negatives, and rightly so. Two positives. The first positive is against Cal, you had how many touchdowns? I mean, how many turnovers?
4.
How many did you have against Arkansas?
5.
You lost by 7 to Cal with 4 turnovers. You lost by 10 to Arkansas with 5 turnovers.
Yep.
There's a silver lining in there somewhere. I'm reaching here. I know.
Hey,
over 400 yards of offense. You held the leading rusher in the SEC to 75 yards, lowest of the year so far for him. Dude, you can make a book out of the positives, but the turnovers wash it all.
Yeah,
and most of them were in the red zone. So you had driven down the field and turned the freaking ball over. That can't happen. You can't give up. I don't know how many third and double-digit yards to go. 4 or 5, 3 on one drive. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 19, 3rd and it was ridiculous. The 3rd and longs, and the defense played, I thought, good. Except for 3rd down and longs, I thought the defense was pretty good. I honestly thought they were better this week than they were last week against New Mexico.
No, I agree wholeheartedly, and I think here's the other thing: is the unforced errors by Auburn with penalties. On the first touchdown drive and the last touchdown drive, because you get off the field on the last touchdown drive if Spooty doesn't, pass interfere on a ball that's 5 yards out of bounds, right? Now, in his defense, he didn't see where the ball was at that time, right? Like, I mean, he's running man for man and just kind of trying to grab hold because I think he thought he was getting passed by.
And that's an effort penalty. You can live with an effort penalty, right?
Right.
And they covered well, by the way, the secondary. I can't believe how well they covered going back and looking at it. Now that was what we thought was the biggest issue, right?
Yeah. But the other definitely, and the other one was Austin Keys did not have to hit the quarterback on that one. That was again, I understand he was trying to make a play, trying to make sure the quarterback knew his presence was there. And realistically, the quarterback had released it and had 2 steps before he hit him. Like, you could have pulled up on that one. Didn't need to do it. You did it. It was probably a pretty soft call, if we're being honest, because I don't think it was the amount of force he hit him with. It was more about the fact that you hit him that late.
I'll say it this way. It caught my eye from the press box, and I was going, no. No,
yeah.
We did that.
Trust me, I was watching on the TV doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, my second positive. If you're Deuce Knight, you're looking at an open door. And here was my concern a week ago. I'm going, what if Hank Brown lights it up the rest of the year?
Sure.
And you don't see that. You see a multi-year starter for the next 2 to 3 years. He's a redshirt freshman. He's at least going to start 2 more years.
Right.
You would imagine, you would assume. So to see the quarterbacks all tank, they were, as Brooks would say, cheeks. That's got to be a positive if you're looking to come in and play early, if you're a quarterback. So I thought that was good. And last thing, here's my negative. If I see Keandre Lambert-Smith pull up and high-five a teammate before he crosses that goal line, he'll sit the next game. At least.
Hey, and if he sits, I'll go ahead and mark up a loss for Auburn.
Yeah. He's their best offensive player right now.
But I'm with you, Jeffrey. That is
he stops running at the 10, turns over and gives somebody a high five. Not on my watch, big dog. Come on, have a seat by me.
Yep.
You're too damn old to be doing that. And we're down by 10, by the way.
Now, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you, and I totally agree. On the other side of that coin, my goodness, he's good.
He is. He had a damn game, dude.
He did.
Well,
And in fairness to him on that one, that touchdown he hit there tied the game. So
did he?
It was 14-14 not at that point when he scored on that one.
Auburn was tied. Oh, yeah, and then they gave up.
Yeah. And then they
It
gave up
didn't last long. That's why
It didn't last long. Yeah.
No.
That's why I forgot Auburn was ever not trailing in that game.
Yep.
How about T. Williams shutting them out for?
I don't know.
Said it on our show today. Big shout out to Trav for getting it. Look, this is an Auburn-centric show. I'm sure there's nobody that's watching tonight that's excited to hear me say that. But for a former Auburn player, somebody that's one of the good guys, I was excited to see that performance for him.
Yeah,
you can see how motivated he was too. Every time they put the camera on him, he was about to just come unglued on the sideline. You could tell how much this game meant to him, and he wanted to make a statement.
Sure.
A lot of Auburn flavor. I saw Travis. I saw Marcus Woodson. I saw Scott Fountain. All on the Arkansas staff.
Yep.
So, all right, let's hear what the fans got to say. Let's hear what the listeners have to say. Does that get us started, big dog?
We get double-digit callers right now. So
all right, we're going to scream through.
Oh.
But Kevin from Wilmer kicking us off as always. You're live, man.
Kevin from Wilmer, Alabama.
What's going on, Kevin from Wilmer, Alabama? Give me some good news, Kevin. Even Kevin can't come up with some good news.
You three should give Walker White a chance.
You want to skip right over Holden?
Yeah.
Zach said, yep. Yep. Kevin, I don't does anybody disagree with him?
I think we're probably about 2 games too early on that.
Yeah, we're sitting at like 2-6. We'll talk about that.
Sam Jackson.
I mean, if you get to the point where your record is there's nothing you can do about it anymore, maybe.
That's when you turn to the future and you say, all right, Walker, we don't expect much. Go in there and get better.
Well, you'd probably go to Walker, yeah. If in that case.
I did at least see Sam.
Defense played good.
Very good.
I thought they were better for sure.
Better.
I mean, you held Arkansas to its lowest yardage total and point total for the season.
Yep.
So an improved effort by
definitely played good enough to win.
Yeah. And if they're not on the field as much as they are, they probably don't give up 24 points. It's probably 17 or 14.
Right.
And the wide receivers did pretty good.
I thought Rivaldo Fairweather played fantastic. He made some big catches. Cam Coleman, of course, let the ball go through his hands for the second time. I didn't see the TV view. Was that fair to say? Was that his?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah, it was on him. It hit him in the hands.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody
was the throw a little hot? Yeah, but I mean, you got to throw it hot on a slant.
He does. No, Peyton. That was Peyton, wasn't it?
Yes.
Listen, you can't soft throw a slant.
He shoot. That was.
I like Lambert Smith. He's good.
He is good.
He's
but
an
I think
NFL guy.
Peyton burned it hot the first time too.
First time it was
Jeffrey,
a little too hot.
I got the Auburn Live T-shirt on.
Oh, representing. What about Wanda?
We need a picture.
You haven't tried it on yet.
What? Kevin, get Wanda to take your picture and send it to me.
Okay.
All right, big dog. Appreciate your call, Kevin.
War Eagle.
War Eagle, buddy.
Good call, Kevin.
Good call. Very good call.
Yep.
Haven't been tearing it up.
I know it.
We got another good caller here. Anthony, you're live, man.
Oh, get in here, Anthony.
Oh, Anthony.
Fellas, Anthony from Montgomery.
How about you, Anthony from Montgomery?
I got a face to put with that name now.
Oh, do you,
Alan? We're friends now, not just acquaintances.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Anthony. So when I come into town, when we do the live show, I'm gonna need you to come up there for that, or I'm gonna have to sneak into the game. One of the two, man. I can't be the only person that hadn't met you.
I got to meet you, man.
I'm telling you, big dog.
Y'all want to know what I learned the most yesterday?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
That the recruits do not care about what happened during the game.
No, they don't.
Hey, Anthony, do you know? I walked into the recruiting lounge to get a bottle of water or something, and there were 3 or 4 big time recruits. They weren't watching the game. They're sitting over there.
Who's in there playing the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, they play. That's right.
Like most of the man, I'm telling you, they be taking pictures on social media. They don't even be the only people that really sit there and watch the game was Blake Woodby and Bryce Diaz, and those guys love Auburn. And
Ryan G.
oddly,
Yeah, Ryan G, JJ Falk.
oddly, Caleb Cunningham sat right behind me, and we talked most of the game.
Good kid.
He is
And
fantastic.
yeah, he a good kid, and he was rooting for Auburn. Like with that play when the dude suplex
Oh my God. Yes.
Asante, Eugene Asante.
Oh,
Yeah, we both almost lost it. Like we jumped up like, "Ref, what are y'all looking at?" But those kids, man, I know everybody on the board like we gonna lose these kids. Man, them kids don't be paying attention. Them kids be up there with their girlfriends and friends and taking pictures and joking and playing. They just want to play. All they talk about is getting on the field. Them kids just want to play football.
Anthony, you know, we said it on another show. They didn't commit to Auburn because of all the winning Auburn's doing right now.
Right.
So,
Man, but I think I don't even know how to feel about the team, man. I don't even know what to think. Man, I feel like we're. I don't know. I think it's the coaching. I think the time is messing up football. Because what I see is I feel like coaches are scared to coach hard. I feel like we don't have a coach on that staff. Maybe DJ Durkin that get after it. Like, hey, you need to get this right or you're going to sit down. I feel like everybody coach timid because of the transfer portal. That's what I see. Like, I don't see the aggression or the fear of my spot can be took. That's what I think from it. Man, I don't know.
You're not wrong.
It's week to week. I don't even have a prediction, like, because nobody looks good in the SEC, so I can't even tell you where we're going to finish.
No, I mean, I'm with you because I haven't been impressed by Missouri. Kentucky's got their issues. Oklahoma is stout defensively, but offensively they are putrid. So, I mean, other than Georgia, Texas, and maybe Ole Miss. And now we don't play Texas or Ole Miss, right?
Correct.
Because Ole Miss has got issues running the football right now, from what I've seen. But those are the three I would not want to be faced up with.
If Hugh Freeze wants Naeem Alford, the person he needs to convince out of everybody is his girlfriend. That boy love that girl to death.
Where's she go to high school?
Come to Auburn.
Where's she go to high school, Anthony?
What you said?
Where did she go to high school?
I don't know, but
I do.
She
went to Minor High School, home of the Tenacious Tigers, big dog.
Anthony,
love sliding that in.
She's the one that needs to be convincing because wherever she says go, that's where that kid going. I'm telling you.
Anthony, do you remember when I said I feel like there's something working in Auburn's favor with Naeem?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
enough said.
Hey, Cole, you know. Hey, you know I was there. I saw it firsthand, so I know exactly what you.
I'm telling you, man. I've never not seen them together.
Hey, I'm telling you, man. That's the one that Hugh Freeze needs to lock in on if he want that kid. Because if she say stay home, that kid gonna be here. And all.
Look,
y'all have a good night. I know y'all got a bunch of calls.
Appreciate you, Anthony. Good to meet you, big dog.
Yeah, great meeting you, man.
Yes, sir.
They need to recruit his girl. Look, funny enough, I actually watched the Pony Express last night, and they were talking about Craig James recruitment, and that's how he ended up at SMU. Was they recruited his girlfriend harder than they recruited him because he was going to go where she was. But they also need to recruit his brother, underneath the table over there from Tulane.
Yeah,
and make sure they get him in Auburn too.
Zach, before we go to our next call, can we get our proof of Kevin in the Auburn Live shirt?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Show him, big dog.
Look at him.
Let's see, I'm just trying to find it.
Kevin also says he's going to watch KJ Lacey Friday night.
How about that?
Yeah,
down in my neck of the woods.
Wilmer ain't far from Saraland
at all.
Is it? Okay.
Zach knows about Wilmer.
It's just on the other side of Mobile. That's all it is.
Right.
It's loading right now.
It's on the west side, northwest.
Yeah, it'd have to be the west side because the west side of Mobile is what butts up to Sims/Saraland.
Yep.
Zach, if we need to keep it moving, we'll get to it after the next call.
Oh no, here we go. It just
Okay.
uploaded.
Big dog.
What a boss.
Look at him.
Yeah, man.
That shirt looks good, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Heck yeah. Appreciate you, Kevin.
Ooh, let's see. I had a next caller and I lost him. Here we go. 5960. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
I know who that is.
Man, it's the artist formerly known as the Kid. Man.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's going on? What's going on, man?
What's up?
Living the dream, Edward. How about you, buddy?
I don't know. Shit, it's just like nightmare. Ain't no damn dream. Ain't nothing I want to dream about.
Nightmares and
It's
dreams
like
too.
nightmares. I'm just about man, I'm down to the point, man. Let me be an Alabama State or Alcorn or somebody, man.
Yeah.
It's getting exhausting, isn't it?
My granddad used to tell me a long time ago, I used to always have a way of trying to get over on him. He said, boy, you really think I'm going to just let you keep pissing on my head and telling me it's raining? You pissed on my head last year and told me it was rain. You know, I see some problems, guys. I know everybody want to be optimistic and everybody want to say the right thing. Man, I see some problems. And I ain't throwing my players under the bus. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes in the press conference, all I need to be said is, this on me. I take full responsibility for that loss, and I'm going to fix it. I heard Gus say that a many times. I'm going to correct it. I got to find guys who can make the passes. I got to find guys who can hold on to the football. Well, the problem is you got those guys, but you're not putting them on the field. My bigger issue is a lot of this is systemic, man. Nobody wants to hear it. I told you the other week. That's why I went all on Thorne. We putting quarterbacks in bad situations. We putting Hank Brown in some situations he did not have to be in. 27, averaging 5.6, 5.7 yards a carry, but he only touched the ball 12 times. You want to know what your problem is? There's your problem. I know. I agree with that. You got the running back got to hold on to the ball. Damari knows that. But hell, if Damari can't, I got 23 on the sideline, not being utilized in no kind of way. Believe it or not, I believe Justin Jones could be a serviceable running back. I've seen a lot of running backs come through Auburn who wasn't highly touted coming out of high school. Nobody really knows who they was, and all of a sudden they bust on the scene. Sometimes you got to go a little deeper in your roster to find guys who want it, man. I see a bunch of guys out there that don't want it enough for me, and that couldn't be on my field, that don't want it bad enough. Find some guys who want it. You see, because right now, let's be honest, Auburn is on the rope. When you look at what lies ahead, Auburn is on the rope.
Yeah.
I said earlier that I felt like Oklahoma was the biggest game I ever seen. But it was for different reasons. This game Saturday and damn near become a must-win for Auburn at home because you won't be back in Jordan for November. I know we saying we looking around the SEC, but man, I ain't seen the confidence, and I ain't seen nothing out of Auburn that give me confidence we can go nowhere and win outside. Shit, we can't win at home. I know Missouri struggled on Vanderbilt, but what have you seen from Auburn that give you any kind of confidence you can go to Missouri? They said what a defense. Man, Arkansas, one of the worst SEC teams along with us. They ain't got no offense. Dude just run around, run the ball, and make plays. But man, that ain't. Yeah, we watched the Catfish Bowl yesterday. That's what I call it, the Catfish Bowl. Between two of the bottom dwellers in the SEC. That's what that is. This team, a lot of it got to fall back on coaching, man. A lot of this got to go back on coaching. And you doing stuff, you losing games that you ain't got no business losing.
I agree with that.
What I want to say what it was said. 1-6 in your last FBS game. Come on, man. We're Auburn University. Everybody want to hang your hat on recruits and all. It ain't affecting. That is a lie. You may think it ain't affecting, but it's gonna have an effect eventually if you don't win football games. Because guess what? Go on everything that's been posted on Facebook, everything that's been posted anywhere. This is how it always starts. Let's not act like we didn't watch this movie play out. We know how this movie gonna end if something don't change. We don't watch this movie time and time again. I don't care. There's no excuse. I can't make excuses for you because you has the one thing that no other coach, maybe besides Gus, in recent years had in the beginning. You had the full support. Man, they gave you the keys to the whole thing. Ain't nobody in your way. But when you consistently go to losing game that you don't have no business losing, man, there's gonna be some unrest. And like I keep saying, your year 3 is about to turn into a must-win. Because if this season goes ugly, you starting out year 3 down there like Billy Napier started out this year. Nobody wants to hear that. But these people at Auburn got a lot of pride. They not finna keep walking out of Jordan Hare Stadium and looking at that damn scoreboard and we done lost a team we ain't got no business losing to. And here you sit in the press conference and throw that same thing. It's always excuses. A lot of people don't like what Bo said. Yeah, Bo took up with you last week, but Bo Waller didn't tell not one lie last night. Bo Waller told the truth. How can my receiver and Keandre Lambert-Smith say in his press conference? Now is not the time to be pointing fingers. But the damn coach in the press conference is throwing everybody under the bus. His coaches, his players. You got Oklahoma coming, then you're going to Athens. Doing something like that will cause you to lose your team. I agree with Cole. That's why I told him last week, do not beat Hank Brown up. I look for Hank to have a bad game. But yet and still, hell, if I'm going to have a bad game, I might as well have it with him. He not head and shoulders. He might have a better understanding of the system. But you still setting him up for a failure. Your routes that you running, man, they dropping back in zone, killing it.
Yep.
And yeah, why is the quarterback struggling? Why I'm saying this is systemic. Think about this. Why is our quarterback struggling so bad? When the damn coach can talk to him in the head, come on, man. You can talk to him in the head, Pete. And we still look this bad. Maybe it's not the quarterback. See, that system in 2013, 2014, it was new. Maybe everybody done caught on to you. And see, what I'm hearing from you is your system, my system, my system. Maybe you're not willing to adapt and build a system that fits your team. We're going to do this my way or no way. Well, I've seen that happen before. And the guy that tried that didn't have a good ending at all.
Got a lot of things to work on, Edward. That's for sure. I think everybody could look at this game and go, yeah, we're nowhere close to being able to compete in this conference. And I think the biggest issue, correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but it's Hugh Freeze hitched his wagon to Peyton Thorne in the offseason. I was a big proponent of saying, I don't know how you could watch Peyton Thorne a year ago and go, yeah, we're good. We're good there.
For the record, I do think we need to address what Bo Wallace said on Twitter,
Okay,
on shows, on everything. He seems to be very vocal about this right now.
Which one? The one where he was like praising Hugh Freeze?
No, that was last week.
Oh, yeah, that was last week. Last night was opposite.
Oh,
last night was totally different. But I don't necessarily. I mean, I don't know. He's experienced it. I haven't, so I'm not going to say that. But what I will say is, I could see. This might be controversial. I could see where a quarterback would not love the way Hugh Freeze goes about things with them sometimes, if that makes sense. Because I do feel like the offensive play calling and scheme is good. but it doesn't really put them in the greatest situations sometimes. I feel like there's a lot of reads going on, and I've told you, my personal philosophy is pull back on the reads on some plays. They don't need 4 reads on every play. I never subscribed to that kind of offense. I liked to take pressure off the quarterback, whereas this offense puts a lot on the quarterback's plate.
It runs everything runs to the quarterback in this offense.
And there are quarterbacks out there who can handle it, right, Alan? I mean, there are quarterbacks out there that have no issue with that, and they're fine. And usually they go to the NFL. But not all of them are like that, and you have to understand that. You got to.
No, I mean, look, I don't disagree, Cole. I mean, we've talked about that. You should probably lock the read on the RPO, create more designed runs, lean into your running game a little bit more. I think there are things that they could do to simplify the offense to a degree. Yeah. And realistically, I think Hugh Freeze can run his full offense once he has developed a quarterback within that system. But you haven't had a quarterback within his system longer than 6 months at this point, or 8 months, because technically speaking, they were utilizing Philip Montgomery's system last year. So it's, it's a growth and maturation thing, but I think they are going to have to scale back. If they're going to be successful at all, they're going to have to scale back with what they're asking the quarterback to do and lean more into that running game.
And dumbing down, that was used, but that's not the right word. It's simplify. Simplify. Yeah. Do the things you do well and hammer it home.
Sure.
7267. You're live. Who are we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Shane from Leesburg, Georgia. How about you, fellas?
Oh, from Leesburg. How about that?
Isn't there some kind of running back over there in Leesburg?
I think so.
Yeah. We've got Usman. That's one question I have for you. And I got a couple. I'll hang up and let you guys talk. But with everything going on, FSU, Georgia, Auburn, what you guys think on Chroma? And I think he's supposed to commit next week. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing some stuff around here, but I'm
thinking hearing?
Auburn.
Yeah,
what you guys think? And
Shane, what are you hearing? Shane, what are you hearing? Shane, what are you hearing?
I've talked to some folks that think it's Auburn, but I haven't heard it. From him. I don't know him personally.
All right. But, fair enough.
I talked to some of his teachers, but he won't say. Yeah. I'm sure he won't say. But
he may not know.
Yeah, he may not know. And the other thing is going forward, if we finish close to 500, 5-7, 6-6, or 7-5, what do you think this recruiting class is going to look like?
Okay.
You think you're going to, stay where we're at, fall, or continue to improve it?
Will it affect Auburn if they don't get to 7 wins?
Yeah.
Will it affect Auburn's class?
Somewhat, sure. I think so. I don't think staying inside the top 5 is realistic if you're 5-7. I think you're going to have some slight attrition. And I believe what I said with J.G. Tate last night on his show when he asked me to come on was probably somewhere in a top 10 to a top 15 range. That would be what I would speculate without necessarily knowing each individual recruitment and who's trying to flip them out of Auburn's class. But that would be kind of the scale of where I'd put things.
Where are you going to get to 5? How are you going to get to 5 wins?
I don't know, man. I mean, again, and look, Edwards got a point. He's got a very valid point in that I could say whatever I want to say about Missouri, and I can say whatever I want to say about Kentucky and Vanderbilt and so on and so forth. But what at Auburn's level gives you confidence that they can win a football game? And I think what gives me confidence is, Jeffrey, is that if you don't commit 5 turnovers, if you just cut that in half, you win that ball game.
I agree.
So to me, it is, can you get control of the turnovers? That is and honestly, that is the easiest thing to do of anything that you're being asked. Just don't turn the ball over. Don't be reckless with the football. As I once heard an offensive coordinator at Auburn say, and it might be the worst combination of offensive coordinators we've ever had, live to punt. It's a real thing, man.
Live to punt.
Yes.
Hell, I'd boo me too. Well, and here's the thing about the season. Looking at it from what I've seen when Auburn plays the two opponents that's worth talking about, that we should, Alabama A&M, New Mexico. I want to see what Auburn did against Cal and against Arkansas. Nothing I've seen against those two teams lead me to believe that Auburn can beat three more teams. The thing is that, man, you've got to I'm not saying they're close. I'm saying if you averaged 1 to 2 turnovers in the Cal and Arkansas games and not 4.5,
yeah,
you're probably 4-0.
Yes. That is the biggest difference, is that you gave possessions away. You gave possessions away. And on the Hank thing, and I get where everybody's coming from on he's a young quarterback and Hughes should have hung with him. I get it. But those first 2 interceptions, man, show me that he was not reading things as he should, because there's the second one. I mean, he didn't even look. That was a hitch route where he didn't even look at the defender. He
stared it down, didn't he?
Yeah.
He just didn't recognize the coverage. I think they were in like a quarters or a cover 6 or something with that guy's over in that area. And
it was
you have to know that pre-snap. You have to know that at the snap when they start moving to not throw that ball. And he's first time he's ever done it, right?
No, absolutely. And you're going to have those things. And I will be honest with you on this. And this is what I think is going to happen with the quarterback situation. I honestly believe this. They're going to start Peyton Thorne against Oklahoma. That is the route they're going to go.
I think so.
I think Peyton's going to get the full game against Oklahoma unless it gets out of control.
Yeah.
I think post-Georgia game, they're going to make a referendum on this quarterback decision on which way they're going to go. And they'll have the bye week to move forward with whichever quarterback they think helps them in the situation they're in. Because if they go 0-2, are you really going to mortgage your future and continue to move forward with Peyton Thorne? Or are you going to try to create some upside with Hank Brown? And by comparison, if you go 1-1 and you think you've got some other salvageable games that you can go and get victories in, then you're probably going to stick with Peyton Thorne. But that's my prognostication as it pertains to the quarterback position, is that I think it really depends on these next 2 games as how it goes and then what the sell point is. Because if I know Hugh Freeze, I do know this. He's going to try to make this a best case scenario and make a sales pitch as it pertains to recruiting, whichever way that's going to flow.
Here's another theory I want people to consider when they're talking about Hugh Freeze's post-game press conference last night. Consider for a moment that maybe he's talking to recruits.
Possibly.
Yeah.
ABC, big dog, always be recruiting.
Yep.
Well, I think just about everything he does is a sales pitch. I mean, it is what it is. That's the world we live in now. If you don't get players, you're going to be in trouble. And they're in a situation where they had to fill out the portal and they had to revamp the offense with young players and new faces. And you're in the beginning of a season where you're still having quarterback issues, right? So, yeah, he's going to continue to recruit. He thinks that's the way he's going to win at Auburn. And I think that's why they don't run the ball as much as they probably could.
We need a quarterback that doesn't throw to the other team, that can hit wide open wide receivers.
Yes.
We need running backs who can hold on to the football.
Yes.
You've got Deuce Knight outside the door, and you've got Usman Chroma a week away from a decision.
Mm-hmm.
You're selling early playing time to both of those guys.
Correct.
I mean, I thought the most interesting thing of the night, Jeffrey, was talking to Devin Carter. I mentioned that on our other show, but Devin Carter, 4-star 2026 receiver, he said, look, Auburn moved up for me tonight. We'll have that story tomorrow, but I'm telling you, he was very positive. He's like, I saw what I wanted to see out of the receivers. That looks like a good offense for me.
The Cole, real quick, Shane's question. We got way off topic, but Chroma. Well, what Shane? I haven't heard anything. I'm going to do a little bit of checking tonight because I'm going to have my updated hot board tomorrow morning. Chroma is set to announce on Saturday. Going into the weekend, everybody that I talked to that knows anything about this recruitment felt like Auburn had an edge. Felt like Auburn's NIL was going to be substantially larger than anyone else's. They felt like the opportunity for early playing time was there at Auburn. The relationships were there at Auburn with Derek Nix, with Hugh Freeze. They high priority for this kid. Florida State, he did go to Florida State this weekend, kind of a surprise visit. He didn't say anything about that last weekend when he left Auburn. Shows up at Florida State. They beat freaking 0-4 or 0-3. Florida State beats Cal.
Yep.
Nice. At home. At Florida State. So As of now, slight edge to Auburn as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard a reason to change my pick. I have a pick in for Auburn. I'm going to stay with that for now. Obviously, watching it really, really close up until he decides this coming weekend. Is that what it is this weekend?
Saturday, yep.
Saturday. Got to watch it close because I do think it's almost razor thin, but there's a reason we give Auburn an edge right now, and I think it could hold true. I really do.
I know he visited Florida State, but Georgia's the one that's still got me concerned. I'm going to be honest with you.
For sure.
Tracking that one down, or running that one down is just – I got a little bit of an uneasy feeling, and I can't –
hear you.
There's no intel that I have to support that. It's just –
I hear you.
Beating Georgia on an in-state kid they really want until I kind of see it happen with my own eyes. It's a tough one for me to kind of wrap my head around. And I'm hoping to get my own information on that one as well, Jeffrey.
Good stuff, Shane. Appreciate your call, big dog.
7711. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
This is Connor calling from Auburn.
Connor local.
I'm not Connor AU. Just want to make that clear.
That's fair.
That's a good preface.
Yes.
So I was watching. I was listening to Daryl Dapprich this morning, and he was talking about how a lot of Auburn's issues seem to be self-inflicted. And after watching the Aaron Murray offensive breakdown with both the quarterbacks, it truthfully does seem like they are self-inflicted. Like, we have guys that are open. It's just no shade to the players. I could not do what they are doing, but it just doesn't seem like it's being executed efficiently. So my question was, if it is just players not executing and they're all self-inflicted issues, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because on one end, if they're self-inflicted, it should be easy to correct, but at the same time, why are those problems happening in the first place?
Right.
And also another little second question about your hot board, Jaylee. Do you have I can't think of the word, but are your percentages just 75%, or do you have an actual way you come up with those numbers? But
yeah,
I'm gonna hang up and listen. I appreciate y'all's appreciate what y'all do. Take care.
All right, hey Connor, good call. Real quick for me, man, I 50% top two coin toss flipped. Anything more than 50, I've got Auburn with a slight edge or an edge. If I'm feeling confident about a thing, I'll jack it up. But all those percentages are Auburn against the field. It's not like, I've got Auburn at 60%, which means Georgia and Florida State are both at 15. There you go. That's what I said. Right. It's Auburn versus the field, Connor. So anything over 50, I like Auburn. Anything under 50, I don't. What was the other one? Self-inflict. Now here's a theory on that. It says, to me, it says it's almost a catch-22 with coaching. You've got these guys running wide open, so you've got the right plays dialed in. You don't have the right talent, that's how I view it as a recruiting guy. Man, the scheme's there, the plays are there, the talent's not. We're not there yet.
I think all right, so if you're speaking just in the recruiting vein, the way you're seeing it is absolutely correct, Jeffrey. Period. There's no two ways about it. If you're looking
at catch-22 I was talking about is the coaching. The coaches are wide open, but you're not coaching these guys up enough to see it.
Or you're asking them to do something that they can't do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the two, right? Either they're not being coached enough or well enough to be able to adjust to these situations and be able to be productive when asked, or they're just not capable and you're still asking them to do it anyway to showcase what? So it's a really tough spot to be in. And this is what I would say to Hugh right now. Stop trying to explain yourself so much.
I hear you.
I honestly believe what he is telling the media is what he believes. And it's probably layered with a lot of truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you or I were to say that, it would come off like honesty.
Yep.
But when the head coach comes off and says that, it makes it look like he's selling his team out, right? So while I understand what he's trying to do, Hugh, just listen to your SID and just say, hey, man, it's on me. We got to coach him better. Next question. Like, make it that short. Go full Gus Robot at this point.
Everybody hates coach speak, and they hated it when Gus did it, but there's a reason why so many coaches do it. But look, I mean, you know me. I can't help it. I go against the grain a lot. I like that he's honest. I like to know what he's thinking. I wanted to know what Gus was thinking more. I would pay money to know what he was thinking at times, right? So I like that side of it. But I agree with you. There's a way to do this.
Sure.
There's a way to do it, and in this situation, you have to understand how angry. They're not sad.
Mm-hmm.
They're angry. There's a difference in those emotions. They're not. Oh man, Auburn's not good. No, it's want to kill somebody. Why are y'all so bad? You know, you have to understand that if you're the head coach, and you got to go. It's on me, man.
Yeah.
Next question.
Did anybody see the fan shots in the game at the end? My God.
One dude was crying, dude. He was like a grown-ass man sobbing.
Yeah, you know, and
like,
I
get yourself
bad.
together, big dog.
Right. I felt bad.
That was Rice DP.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Rice, man. I love you.
No, it was. I've seen Rice. That wasn't Rice, man.
I know.
But,
I'm just kidding.
Now, look, there's a way to do it. You're right. Mike Gundy is a perfect example of how you can be transparent.
Yeah.
And look, I don't agree with everything Gundy says either in his Gundy, Oklahoma brain. You know what I mean? Talking about he driven around drunk 1,000 times. But you know what? He is transparent. And I will give him credit for this. You can't, as a media person, if you want the soundbite, if you want that content and then you criticize him after the fact, you know, it's a little double-sided there. But
sure.
Overall, I think what Hugh's doing is he's just trying to explain too much. Just stop trying to explain and just get on with it, man. Just make your decisions and move along. At this point, I think damage control.
I think the explanation comes off as excuses and blame.
Yeah.
And no, personally, I like it.
Sure.
I do too.
But like Cole said, we like it, but we don't like it.
I don't take it as an excuse, but I know the fans do. And
yeah, right. Personally, I like it. I like him to call the hey man, we've got to do better. There were people open. We're throwing to the wrong team. They got a hold on the football. We're running in for a touchdown. We dropped the damn ball.
It's one of those. It's one of those things that we get caught in all the time. You know, like just because he said that he should have done better doesn't mean he's not. That doesn't mean he's saying he's not doing, or he's doing it right. That doesn't mean that. He's just saying that he could come back behind it and always say, you know, but it's on me. If you just followed up with that, everybody would be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Cole. Absolutely. Hey, we got to do this. We did this. We didn't do this. And you know what? That falls on me.
It's hard for anybody to say anything back when you give them it's on me.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Right. I'm sorry, Zach. We can't stop.
Nope.
We won't stop.
1575. You're live. We're talking to where you calling from.
Okay.
You ain't about to be. You are.
He's spitting that ribs to his girl.
Yeah, he was.
Don't say nothing, okay?
Hey,
you have somebody tied up on there?
Right?
What's up?
Sorry.
Hey,
Mama should have put some
1575.
medicine on
You're
it.
live.
I got you feeling good. I check this out.
Oh, he's talking to his kid. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, we might not want to listen.
I mean, I
hey,
don't know.
big dog.
1575. You're live.
Good, ain't it?
Hello. That's good. Put that chocolate syrup.
I think
on
this.
that.
I think this is a troll job. This is a troll job.
This is some Shannon Sharp on Instagram Live.
I'm a caller too, so I don't think that was a troll job. I just think they put the phone down. 5202.
I'm Shannon.
Where you calling from?
Okay, we'll hand it off to the second string running back. This is Darren down in Niceville. What's going on, guys?
What's up, Darren?
Oh, Darren.
I held my
I'm
breath
going to be
for a
loud and
second.
clear. Hey, just real quick, Austin reminds me of Fannin. dude can do all kind of moves, run over people, run around people, and then he fumbles the ball. Listen, that elbow went so far away from his body,
Yeah.
and that guy snatched that ball out with easy pickings at that point. So we know the fundamentals there. And this guy's what? He's a junior or sophomore. He shouldn't be doing that.
Fourth-year junior.
Yeah.
First contact, you need to be like Larry Zonka. Both hands need to be on the ball, right? So terrible, terrible thing. I think that the self-inflicted stuff is true. I'm not going to outguess Hugh Freeze about swapping quarterback. He's trying.
Yeah.
I can see where Gus couldn't make a damn adjustment if his life depended on it. He felt like his plan was perfect. It's perfect. It's always the players. They're just not doing what they're supposed to do. I think Freeze is like trying to make adjustments. He's trying to use a different quarterback, but what you said earlier, Cole, is very true. And I think Alan said it all runs through the quarterback, but do they have to have 4 to 6 reads? Can we not dummy that down a little bit, right? So let me ask y'all, here's my question and tonight, and enjoying the show, guys, as usual. And listen, I'm not a fair weather friend, right? My daughter had cancer. Everybody came to visit us at Children's Hospital. Pat died. Everybody, I'm here. I got my Oklahoma ticket still. I'm going. I got my Missouri tickets. I'm driving my butt out there, So Vanderbilt got my tickets. I'm still going to everybody. I will not leave Auburn as a fan, period. When these recruits hear this and hear this show and see that crowd out there at 3 and 5 or whatever we end up, these fans will not leave Auburn. Recruits, people, we love Auburn. And it's gymnastics, it's basketball, it's football, it's soccer, it's badminton. I don't care. Auburn's just different. It feels different and it is different, period. When you come there, you'll know it and they feel it. So I get it. Kids in the stand crying because that was a big game. We shouldn't be losing that game, and y'all said that earlier. Is there any point in this year that you four feel like that we move on and let Walker White come in and start learning this game since he is the future? I don't think future is Hank. I really don't. I think Walker is the future. And if you get a Deuce Knight in, right, he's the backup behind their impossible starting guy, depending on Walker. But is there a time and frame that y'all feel like right now that Walker White does that starting?
I do.
I like it, Darren. Good call, big dog.
Great question.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good night.
Hey, appreciate you, Darren. I think Zach said maybe Alan was like, it's maybe about 2 more games. See where you're at.
I think. All right. I think if Hank's going to be the play, it's 2 more games. If it's Walker, because he's on the scout team, you're probably talking.
Good point.
Vanderbilt, La Monroe-ish.
Can you get him ready if he's running scout team? He's not running Auburn's offense right now.
So I think you probably make that transition at the bye week. So you move him into second team reps with whatever you're going to do. And then if you continue to lose, by the time you get to Vanderbilt, you're back in JHS again, right? Or maybe it's even La Monroe, so it's a softer first opponent.
Yeah.
You let him do it in the confines at home. Then you play A&M again the following week. You know, Mike Elko's a tough cover, and he's going to have his defense ready to go, but you're still in Jordan Hare. And then you go on the road for the Iron Bowl. But you'll have a real understanding of what Walker's able to mentally process at that point, enough so that you know if he's going to be your guy or somebody at least that can be your 2 that's competing with the transfer portal quarterback that you bring in. So it's probably Vanderbilt / Monroe. I think if you start him on the road, that's just not a recipe for success, in my opinion. Not for a kid that's that young that's running the scout team right now that's not even running Auburn's playbook.
I like it. I don't know that I'm there. I don't know that there's a game that I'm putting Walker White in. I'm not there.
Maybe, but it's not right now. It's not in the near future. It'd be one of the last games or the bowl game or something like that. If it just goes completely south, right? Because I said this in the Cal game when Auburn was you learn the most about a coach or a play caller when their back is against the wall. That's when you learn the most about them. What did they turn to when they got to have something? Who do they turn to when they've got to have something?
Sure.
And in this game, he turned to Peyton Thorne.
Yep.
Now listen, I don't think that's because Hank Brown's leash is all that short. I think he looked at the score at halftime and said, gosh, by some miracle, we're only down by 7.
Correct.
And if I put Hank back out there and try to weather this storm that he's facing with trying to look at these zones and not understanding it, it's not going to happen today. If I put Peyton out there, he beat Arkansas last year.
Yeah.
He's done some things that I know I can trust.
Correct.
If I call it correctly. So until they, I don't see them. I don't see a point, even if you lose like 3 straight, I don't see a point where they ever give up and say, well, next year. I don't see that.
I mean, I guess it depends on how those losses happen, right? Do you get beat by Oklahoma at home, you get blown out by Georgia. What if you get run by Missouri? Then you go to Kentucky. It's a nasty loss. Your fan base is disengaged. And so you've probably, as a coach, you're just trying to figure out, can I find anything that works to create some level of momentum for the rest of my year? Now, I'm not saying that you're sacrificing wins, but I can see where you could get to Walker White if you think he's your best option, because he's the most complete quarterback that can execute parts of your offense.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Hey, before we get to our next call, don't forget, if you're in Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, want to sell your house? Looking for a new house? Maybe want to purchase an investment property? Look no further for the help you need, folks. Just Miss Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group. Give her a call, 334-704-4442. A lot of 4s there, Alan, but she's a 5-star realtor. Don't let that number fool you. She's a 5-star by George. I see it every day. I'm telling you. And everybody else does too. You will not find a bad review about her. She's fantastic. She will get that house sold. She'll find you something. Absolutely fantastic realtor. I know because I see it. Give her a call, man. 334-704-4442. And as always, tell her Alan had sent you.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I messed up your read there, but
Yeah.
I saw her sign out in front of a house the other day. Jeff
Did you
Reeves.
really?
Sure did.
Whereabouts?
What's it called? It's a little neighborhood right off of
was it Seminole?
No, what's it called? Anyway, I saw
I hear
it.
you.
I was staying
All right.
next door to the house. Yeah.
You were like, I know her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost sent a picture to you, but I was like,
Oh, yeah. Shake it off. Maybe next time.
We're gonna try one. We're gonna try one more time here. 1575. You're live. Who are we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, fellas, I'm sorry. That wasn't a trouble call. I was checking on my little boy's boo-boo.
Oh,
man.
okay. Yeah. Good for you, man.
You good,
I'll
bro.
allow it.
That caught me off guard. I thought I had it on speakerphone, and I didn't. And then y'all caught me trying to check on his boo-boo. I just picked him up from his mama's.
All good.
Who we have here and where are you from?
I think we need to go back to questions of the week because, man, I need something to look forward to because Auburn is doing it for me.
Hey, breast, wing, thigh, or leg?
How I use my toilet paper, shower curtain, something to look forward to.
Well, what part of the chicken you going to get rid of?
It's first off, fellas, I think it's simple. We're really young. I'm seeing just a bunch of young players making young players' mistakes right now. That's our problem. I mean, other than our quarterback, of course. And I hear everyone saying, well, how come our 5-stars can't do what everybody else's 5-stars are doing? Well, their 5-stars aren't asked to come in and make a big impact as ours are. They got first and second options. And so they're ready to make a play, and they're not bug-eyed and, ready to go when they're called on like ours are. And I agree with Cole. People are mad at Hugh Freeze for blaming the running back and our quarterbacks in the press conference. But, I mean, we can't have it both ways. All we wanted with Harsin and Gus was a coach to just tell us the truth and what's really going on. And
absolutely.
Up front and honest. Now we don't like it.
Yep.
And as Anthony said, if we need to talk to Naheem Alford's girlfriend to get him at Auburn, then, buddy, we need to load up the bus and go get her. Go meet her because, man, that dude, he made some plays the other day.
He did.
Yeah,
I got to see him Friday night against Carrollton.
Did you?
Intercepted Juju, picked up a fumble,
Good.
had a running touchdown. Hey, what's your name again? Where are you from?
Oh, Jeremy Roper from Birmingham. This is my second time calling.
All right, Jeremy.
I'm trying to get used to answering the phone. And I just want to leave y'all one question, too. I just had a couple of statements to make.
Okay.
Anything on Sam Jackson, or you think we might can give him a chance? I mean, what do we got left?
That's well, I think somebody alluded to. Appreciate it, Jeremy. Sorry, man.
I'll hang up and let y'all answer. I appreciate y'all guys.
All right, big dog. Appreciate you calling tonight. Somebody alluded to it earlier in the call in the show. I think was it Kevin?
Yes.
So are you going to skip right over Sam? And I think Cole was like, if you get to Sam Jackson, you might as well get to Walker White immediately.
Correct. I mean, Sam Jackson is a full-blown wide receiver at this point. He's made the conversion. He's not practicing with the quarterbacks.
Right.
That would be, and I understand where everybody's coming from. Look, they want a dual-threat quarterback that can run Hugh Freeze's offense and not turn the football over. That's kind of where people are grasping at this. But Sam Jackson's not at that point right now. He's not prepared as a quarterback. And while he may know probably the large majority of the offense, I think your sight adjustments, reads, concepts are all different from the quarterback position by comparison to playing wide receiver.
0553. You're live. Who are we talking to? Where are you calling from?
What's up, fellas? Jeffrey, congrats on the start of your modeling career.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The beach is that way,
Nice.
big dog.
I see Cole Pinkston rocking that Huntington Hawk shirt there, man. I got me a few of those, so appreciate
right.
you, man.
Well, what's your name?
Man, this is Cole from Noonan. This is my second time calling.
Yeah.
Okay.
But man, I called the first week. First week, obviously that looked good against A&M, but I don't have anything good to say right now.
It's tough to
That
do.
was ugly.
I hear you, brother.
We are 0-2 against lackluster Power 5 teams in our home, in our house.
Good point.
We are 0-2 against teams that we beat last year.
Yep.
And the one thing that Hugh
On the
Freeze
road.
could not afford to do, he could not afford to do, was regress. And he has not earned being on the hot seat, but this could get ugly really, really fast. We got one more shot at home in our house in this 5-game opening stretch to win a big-time football game. And if he cannot do that against Oklahoma, we will go into Georgia and we will get our rears handed to us.
Yep.
And
Might
then
do
you
that
have
anyways.
a week off
Mhm.
for all these recruits who have been coming to games and watching this team lay eggs at home. Will be left to be negative recruited, and we could find ourselves in a Billy Napier type situation very quickly. Now, I appreciate a lot of what Hugh Freeze does. He has recruited really well, and I want him to be successful because the unity among the people who matter and the buzz and energy, particularly in the state of Alabama, of what he has generated on the recruiting trail, we have not had that at Auburn in a long time.
That's true.
And if Hugh Freeze does not pan out, it's going to be really, really tough to rebuild that. So I am rooting for him. But what I've seen so far this season is not a lack of talent. I am seeing piss poor coaching decisions and piss poor QB play. And the piss poor QB play is because he decided to roll with Peyton Thorne in the offseason. And that is a coaching decision that could haunt the entire Hugh Freeze era. And it's inexplicable, and it is costing this team dramatically right now. How much easier would we have been at this point in the season had he gone out and found even a middling Kyle McCord type in the portal that at least could have competed with Peyton Thorne and showed that he saw a problem and was willing to address it. So we have a real issue on our hands. I am rooting for our coach. I'm rooting for our team. But I'm seeing some real problems. Now, let me say this just to throw in a little positive. Eugene Asante played his tail off. Philip Bleedy played his tail off. We saw
Philip Bleedy.
an improvement from the DBs who had been
Sure.
atrocious early on in the season.
Absolutely.
So some progress, but there's no excuse to lose to Arkansas at home, and there sure as hell ain't any excuse to lose to Cal at home. And we've got to step up. And I want to see a lot less preaching about gratitude and a whole lot more chewing ass.
Great call.
Great call, Cole.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, big
Very,
dog.
very good call.
My only rebuttal in all of that was he called Kyle McCord a middling quarterback. I'd push back on that. He's 86 of 127, 67% completion percentage, 1,074 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 3 picks through 4 games. Put that on Auburn's roster and see where we're at, big dog. That
was fantastic.
I understand his phone call. I understand where he's coming from, and I think he's right. And I think the quarterback decision could be the downfall of Hugh Freeze here at Auburn if he is unsuccessful, if we're being honest.
Okay. Yeah. I like it. Cole, a fantastic call, big dog. Don't be a stranger.
9332. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Eric Mack from Little River, Alabama.
All right, Eric Mack. How you been doing, big dog?
Oh, man, I've been hanging in there about like a hair in a biscuit. How about y'all?
Hate them hair and biscuits.
I'd say we're about the same, wouldn't y'all?
Yeah.
Not a lot of shrapnel tonight. It hasn't been as spicy.
No,
as
it's
been
good. It's been good.
Well, man, it's been a great show. Always is, but I sure hate talking under these circumstances, man.
Yeah.
It's real disappointing, I'm just wondering. I'm just gonna hit on a couple of things, man, this evening, and see what y'all's thoughts are. I know that the RPO offense can be a little bit difficult. It seems like at times to run, especially if you don't have exactly the right quarterback in there to run that system, man. And it just looks like that's what's going on right now, man. I know he wants to run that offense, but I'm not. Maybe he needs to pump the brakes, man, and put the quarterback back underneath the center and let's run the ball. You know what I mean? I know that seems far fetched these days, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's not working what we're trying to do, and it's obvious on Saturday. And another thing, man, for Hugh Freeze, he's always had to have that certain kind of quarterback. It has to be to run this system at a high level, and I feel like, man, I wish he would have gotten at least a B level quarterback in the portal, and I think maybe we wouldn't be looking at this right now. I don't think we'd be quite in this situation right now. So
that's fair, Eric. The quarterback.
I'm gonna hang up, man. Listen to y'all's thoughts. Like I said, they love the show. Still War Eagle, and we still here, man.
Appreciate you, Eric. Good, always a good caller, buddy. We appreciate you, man. The transfer all season non acquisition of a portal quarterback will always haunt him for this season, if nothing else.
Right.
Unless you get to the next season and you got enough money to get a quarterback like that, because you didn't do it this time.
You know what? And you think he's going to make the same mistake twice?
I don't.
I don't think so.
Yeah, here you go. I don't think so. But well, I mean,
here's the issue. Here is the issue: is you're subjected to whatever enters the portal, right? Like, I mean, that's the tough part about it is you don't know exactly. You can pre-portal and speak to guys and their agents, family, coaches, 7-on-7 guy, whatever you want to do, right? You can think you have a deal. You can think you've got something set, and then they hit the portal and somebody else offers more, or they don't hit the portal because their school anteed up. So it's a crapshoot, man. I mean, it really is.
Good stuff, Eric. Appreciate your call, buddy.
0608. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Troy from Pike Road, Alabama.
Oh,
Pike Road represent.
I just went through there Thursday.
Pike Road proper. I hear you.
I was just calling to guys, this is going on 6 years since 2019 of the same thing.
Yeah.
Anemic offense, and then the defense is solid or good enough to keep us in it. But I think that's where a lot of the heat comes. I think Hugh Freeze is doing a good job recruiting. Could do a better job on in-game coaching decisions. But this is 6 years of just built-up frustration that I think is just coming down on him now. Like, Fans are just tired of it. And another thing I want to talk about, it worries me that he looked at the roster all last year, especially the quarterback spot, and we went into this season not going into the portal. I was just going to get y'all's thoughts on that. I'll hang up and just listen to y'all. Appreciate y'all taking the call.
Absolutely, Troy. Appreciate you calling in. That's the $1 million question. Why he didn't go get somebody? And
I think he said why at one point.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he pointed at Peyton and said, now, I mean, he shopped. He definitely shopped. He was looking for somebody. But he then pointed at Peyton and said, I mean, look, this guy did it when he had guys around him.
Yeah, I mean, I think
he felt like they were going to be better around him.
I think he felt like, unless it's an elite guy, that I can coach Peyton to be as good as some of these other quarterbacks that are in the portal. I think that's what he thought, if I'm being honest. Like he had we all heard the rumors, right? Riley Leonard, the kid from Washington State that's down at Miami.
Cam Ward.
And then potentially Arch Manning. You know, there were rumors that he was going to jump in at one point. And maybe one other quarterback there was a rumor about it, you know, where there felt like some legitimate smoke. The kid from Liberty who jumped in for a day, and then unfortunately it didn't. Caden Salter didn't work out. But I think he had it set where, okay, if I believe it's a legitimate upgrade, I'm going to pursue it. But that's where you get to the evaluation part, because I think there were several serviceable quarterbacks that were in the portal that were equal to Peyton, if not better. And if you feel this way about Holden now, and that was the bigger thing, it was an indictment on the room in and of itself, is that if you were that questionable on Holden, why not bring in another quarterback to compete with Peyton? So at least you have a legitimate option to turn to, not necessarily turn into a redshirt freshman in Hank Brown. And again, there are 2 data points on Hank Brown now. That's still not enough to make a determination about what his future is going to be. I think he has an opportunity to still be an exceptional quarterback at some point. But he was forced to play before he was truly ready. And that's what I don't quite understand is, and again, this is not me trying to take a shot at Holden. I think he's probably a great kid, good teammate, loves Auburn, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, if I'm Hugh Freeze, look, man, this is my job. This is how I provide for my family. This is my livelihood. My assistant coaches, my recruiting guys, I'm mortgaging their future. So I just don't understand how you can look at that and not bring in somebody to compete with Peyton. I'm not saying they would have beat Peyton out, but how you don't try to create more competition in the room. That's the difficult one for me to get my head wrapped around.
I hear you.
Last caller of the night, 1370. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Lord George from Nashville. How you guys doing?
LG, what's up, big dog?
First off, Alan, I guess I got to call you that now.
Don't LG, don't even do it. You're good, man. You don't even need to worry.
from misquoting you, I was misheard you and stuff, but and you guys had talked about that, I guess, before about the 25 recruiting class. I guess a couple points. One is that the fan support is truly amazing. I had a friend, they went down, their daughter's a freshman there, and she was showing me all sorts of pictures from the game, and I was like, wow, that's, you can't really tell all the time from the TV copy and stuff, but you guys had said it was well attended, and sure enough, I was like, oh, that's good. And they stayed late until the fourth quarter and all that. So that's great. I don't know how much longer. Hopefully it lasts. But that, I don't know. That says a lot, I think. The other point though is I do wonder about, and somebody had said this it's a joke, so hopefully it's not going to offend too many people, but it's like, Freeze recruits like ISIS, but he coaches like Les Miles at times. It's you know, I mean, just some of the decisions at times and stuff. But anyway, I guess I just wonder, like, dude is on fire recruiting. Like, I guess why not just concentrate on that? I'm just wondering. I can't concentrate that well, so maybe it's just me, but it seems like he's got a whole lot of eggs in a basket, and he's trying to get it all. And earlier on one of the things with Hope this earlier today, I think it was, you guys were talking about him looking stressed and stuff. Obviously, losing doesn't help that, but I guess I was just wondering your thoughts on that, about sort of not being as active in the play calling, or if that's sort of a distraction when you've got 25 recruits, you know, that you have to deal with on the game day and after the game and stuff. Anyway, just kind of droning on, but a few thoughts for you guys.
Appreciate you, LG.
Yeah.
Lord George, one of the good ones. Appreciate you, big dog.
I like that one to end it on for sure.
No, it's a great one.
So you may remember me making the statement earlier in the year, and I ran with it a little bit and said, leave Hugh Freeze alone. I wrote that in a few articles and on the board a few times, and maybe even said it on a couple of shows. And the reason I did that is because selfishly, personally, I want to see this product through. And I knew there was going to be problems this year. I knew it. There's too many things that I looked at and went, you got young receivers, you got, the DB room is just depleted from what you had a year ago. It really is. And they're starting to step up. That's good. I thought they had players there. They just, how many do they have? How many guys? Bottom line here, I knew there would be issues this season. I knew the fans would get disgruntled because they've been dealing with this too long. And in my mind, a little bit, and just a little bit, because I see a lot of issues on the field and I think they're warranted, but a little bit of the disgruntlement is unwarranted for Hugh Freeze for all of the crap that Auburn fans have been through the last few years.
Sure.
So me selfishly, I have not seen recruiting at this level in my time watching and covering Auburn. Okay. I didn't really pay attention that much back in 2010, but as of right now, this is the best I've seen. And I break down each player, and from what I can tell, top to bottom, this class that they're about to bring in 2025 is going to be elite. And I think the guys they brought in 2024, pretty strong, playing a lot of snaps. All right. Selfishly, I want to see what that looks like in year 3. It might be fantastic. It might suck. But I want to see it. So,
no, I mean,
that's why I put that out there earlier this year. I knew we'd come to this point at some point. The Auburn fans they're too out of sorts right now, and I do not blame them.
No, I think that's a fair assessment, Cole, as far as wanting to see kind of some of this come to fruition. And I honestly believe that Hugh, 2 answers here: set up his staff to help him with recruiting, bringing in Will Redmond, bringing in multiple other guys to kind of take some of the burden off of him so that he could concentrate on play calling. So I don't think from that standpoint he's too stressed. I think he's just tight because they've dropped ball games that they were predicted to win, and it's eaten away at his equity. And he knows that, look, every win means something. You know what I mean? Whether it's to your donor base, whether it's to your fan base, whether it's to the team inside the building that you're constantly trying to recruit and basically get to buy into what you're preaching to them as far as creating the culture that you want in-house. As far as his longevity at Auburn, I think he's here next year. I don't think there's really any concern on that unless he gets to it would have to be Chiz level bad, 3-9, and blown out in the Iron Bowl for it to be a conversation, right? I mean, right. I think that's what you're looking at. And even then, I still think he gets to year 3. I'm going to be honest with you. But it better look really, really good in the start of 2025 or it's going to get strained quick.
Alan, Jeffrey, Zach, do y'all think that this team is better than that team?
The 3-9 team? Jeffrey, go ahead.
Yes.
I do too. I think they're a lot better.
Me too.
There was
Alan?
a lot of talent on that 3-9 team. I mean,
do I think this team is a better team than that 3-9 team? That 3-9 team.
They turned around and were really good right after that.
Well, they should have been really good, but they weren't.
Right.
Right. And I think this team is more playing in the vein of what they were capable of. I think that team was capable of much more, but they were just young, so young at so many different spots. And like this team, they struggled at the quarterback position all year long. I mean, for God's sakes, they were starting Jonathan Wallace the last 4 games of the season. So, and that's not a knock on J-Dub, because I think he's a phenomenal coach at this point, and was a really good kid. But he wasn't an SEC level quarterback.
No.
Just wasn't.
Well, maybe we won't get to that point.
I hope not.
There's still a lot of football to be played.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of improvement to be had. This team is talented.
Yes.
This team is talented. We'll see how it goes. I think this weekend's going to tell us a lot more. Every weekend's going to do that. We could probably say that every week. But Oklahoma opens as a 2.5-point favorite, which I thought was extremely low. Although, like you said, their offense is about on par with Auburn's at this point. I turned on the Tennessee game Saturday night after getting home, and I was surprised by the lack of I mean, I wasn't intimidated by Oklahoma. I was expected to be like, okay, they're going to be a 7 to 10 point favorite. And when it opened at 2.5, I thought, interesting.
Yeah, because they're starting. Here's the thing. Now, they've got their own quarterback issue, and that's kind of, Sam, is it Darnold or Arnold?
Jackson Arnold.
It's Jackson Arnold. You're right. Jackson Arnold has not performed up to expectation. In fact, he was damn near unplayable in that Tennessee game for the first half. I mean, he looked awful. And they yanked him and put in a true freshman. So it's going to be interesting to see what, Venables does. Does he start a true freshman on the road in Jordan-Hare? And look, while I know that there were fans that were distraught after the Arkansas game, my expectation is they'll show up for the Oklahoma game.
Rally.
I think they will. Now, I think there will be a large contingent of Oklahoma fans down here too. And I hope it's not a situation like the Penn State game where you had just a ton of Penn State people in the stadium. But if Auburn shows up, if it's peak Jordan-Hare the way it can be, and you start a true freshman quarterback, that plays into Auburn's favor. And maybe you can generate enough turnovers on your end to create some positive momentum in that game and some short fields. Find a way to win, man. I don't care if it's ugly. Find a way to win and stop the losing streak and get a big name win against a big name opponent, a brand. That's something you can sell, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can sell that to your donors. You can sell that to your fan base. You can sell that to your recruits. This is what we were able to accomplish. And it creates momentum within your locker room too, because the guys are now saying, okay, we did it once. We didn't turn the ball over 18,000 times. We got to win, right? We can do this again. Now, the problem is they go to Georgia the next week. So, you know what I mean? But it gives you an opportunity going into the bye week, again, to have not lost your team, your fan base, your donors, the people that matter within the program. That's the important part.
Right.
Hey, great show. Great calls. Kevin, Anthony, Edward, Shane, Connor, Darren, Jeremy, Cole, Eric, Troy, and LG finishing this off tonight, man. Fantastic show. It was some great questions, some great comments, some great feedback. Absolutely some great stuff. Not afraid to say it. Hey, don't forget about Roback, man. Use that promo code Auburn20 on Roback.com for 20% off for all new customers through the end of this week, man. Auburn20. Go to Roback.com. ROBACK.com. 20% off for all performance polos, shorts, and more with code Auburn20. And also Jessica Andrus with the Talents Group. Give her a call, 334-704-4442. She's a 5-star. Isn't she? Oh, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. All right, folks, that's going to do it, man. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We truly appreciate you, man. For Cole, for Zach in the back, who's gone back to the back, for Alan Head, I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay that left lane. See ya.